President, on 30th July 2025, a funeral of a boy named Tahir at Konya village in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir was interrupted. The cries and wails of the boy's mother were drowned by angry barbs being directed at a representative of Lashkar-e-Toiba, an internationally prescribed terror outfit which operates with impunity in Pakistan. Tahir had been brainwashed and recruited by LET to carry out terror attacks in India. On 22nd April 2025, he was part of the group of heavily armed terrorists which executed 26 Hindu tourists in cold blood at Pahalgam in India. For 26 families, a holiday turned to horror. Their mistake was their religion. Mr. President, these committees and special procedures, these buildings of stone are of no use if they cannot condemn such a heinous act and hold the sponsors of such attacks accountable for their crimes against humanity. Importantly, the United Nations Security Council officially identified the resistance force, a pseudonym for LET in the sanctions monitoring report, as responsible for the terror attacks in Kashmir. Poor, vulnerable and gullible youth across Pakistan are brainwashed and sent to carry out such crimes. The support structure to these terrorists is nurtured by state proxies. Mr. President, urgent, committed and sincere action is required to stop vulnerable youth from...
The morning calm of a beautiful valley in Pahalgam was shattered by the sound of guns and the cries of innocent civilians. As terrorists trained and brainwashed by state actors mercilessly massacred 26 people, identify victims on the basis of their religion. Mr. President, there can be no greater fundamental human right than the right to live, and that very right was taken away in the most gruesome manner by proxies of a state habituated to such violence. Mr. President, the events at Pahalgam were only the latest of a series of such attacks designed to spread hatred and fear carried out at the behest of so-called state establishments. The world faces acute human rights crisis where violence against civilians propagated by terrorism, state-sponsored aggression undermines peace, stability, and the very principles of human dignity enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Only through collective justice, inclusion, and adherence to the rule of law can these challenges be overcome. Global solidarity in response has been vital. The United Nations Security Council condemned the attack unequivocally and called for accountability of perpetrators and sponsors. Mr. President, enough is enough, and we must not distinguish between attackers and sponsors anymore. Mr. President, Samhari Trust supports these efforts and stresses the importance of supporting grassroots peace builders, strengthening international legal frameworks.